Volvo is an immovable object, moving at its own pace, and it seems like of any car company, they need this more than anybody else. There's a lot to like about the new EX90. The overall shape is nice, although nothing daring. However, the panel work has the most contouring I've seen on a Volvo, except for maybe the XC40. As for the rear, I like it a lot. It's very Volvo, but still a forward-moving design. They've mixed the rear taillight design from the S60 and S90, but with their signature light bars running up the sides of the rear windscreen. Also, those rear and front lights get a very nice segmented light pattern, not unlike the EX90, but with their own twist. The front lights also have some tricks up their sleeve, which I think is a better trade-off than the split lights that we're seeing popular today. However, one thing I don't like is that hub above the windscreen, which I assume houses sensors for autonomous driving. It's a very unfortunate trade-off, and honestly I wish they could have worked out a solution behind the windscreen. Also, the front does speak volumes as to how much I've grown accustomed to a front grille, giving character to the front end styling. I'm not saying I want a fake grille, but I do foresee designers finding more ways to get creative with the face of the car. To me, it's a bit boring. Unshockingly, the interior is frustrating and follows the Polestar 3, a big screen and lack of design rebranded as minimalism. It's not for me, but I don't see it being a deal breaker for the general public. It's certainly not the most egregious of this trend. At least there's some more flair than usual. As I mentioned, there are some things here that I like, but there's also some things that need to be sorted out in the flesh. One thing's for sure, it's a much needed step forward. Let me explain. See, Volvo move at their own pace, and I mean this in two ways. One, it's clear they feel no pressure following the latest design movements. While we're seeing coupes take over the ranges at Audi, BMW, Volkswagen, Mercedes, Infiniti, even Porsche, Volvo's range remains largely traditional. Sedans, wagons, and then subcompact, compact, and mid-size SUVs. While the competition's grilles are getting massive, Volvo's grilles have enjoyed very little expansion. When creases and curves are all the rage, Volvo go for a minimalist approach to body sculpting. They also move at their own pace when it comes to releasing cars. They're content taking the full, but pretty standard, 8-year life cycle, but in many cases, even more. They make nice looking vehicles and then just ride them out. No better proof of this is the original XC90. The original XC90 started production in 2002, looking like this. Production ran for a whopping 12 years, and in 2014, it looked like this. Aside from some very minor facelifts, the design remained unchanged for more than a decade. That means if you bought a first-year XC90 to fit a baby seat, that child was only 4 years shy of being able to buy essentially the same vehicle the day they got their license. For even better context, the first X5 was only 3 years earlier than the XC90, and BMW have gone through 4 new models compared to Volvo's 2. The second record for current in-production Volvos is the S60. The first gen was in production for 9 years, while BMW was pushing 7-year turnovers for the 3 Series. Now, 2 years may not seem like a lot, but it means that in most cases, BMW has been able to squeeze out at least one extra car from around the year 2000 to now. That has a major impact on how the public see a brand. Personally, I love when a company is not afraid to push forward with new models, even though it's nice to be driving the latest model. Of course, sometimes new models and updates can come too fast. We think of the second gen M45, it only had a 2-year shelf life. And the new 2 Series already has an updated interior after only 1 year. For the sake of the original buyers, let's hope the old interior becomes the rare and sought after option. Either ways, Volvo takes their time. Even though technically the S80 isn't in production, with the S90 taking over. The second gen 80 was a decade-long design, 2006 to 2016. So what does all this mean? Well, Volvo doesn't have the luxury of messing up a design. Where companies like BMW and Mercedes rarely go beyond their 8-year mark, Volvo needs a design that's lasting. Even the gorgeous last-gen S-Class only got 6 years. For Volvo to survive, the designs need to be on point, perfect. Their lineup needs to be nearing perfection. No rooms for a test and see, no space for a showcase of what we can do, no halo in lose money while having fun. They also need to be future-proof, about 8 to 10 years. Thankfully, they do make great designs though. I love the new XC90 when it released, and was surprised that it's been 7 years. So, job well done. But now with the industry shift to electric, they have no choice but to get in before they fall behind. Of course, they do have Polestar to fall back on. But Polestar is more like the AMG to Mercedes than it is the Lexus to Toyota. And with it, there is a lot of Volvo brand recognition, despite not having Volvo badging. But to me, Polestar isn't going to keep Volvo alive. Sales are low, but that's expected and on target with what the company is expecting. Also, currently, your only options are a sports coupe and an executive sedan. The Polestar 2 being really the main breadwinner. I don't love its proportions, but it's nice enough. Inside, I feel the same. Now the Polestar 3 is a more captivating option, but they've fallen into that electric vehicle interior rut. I'm not a fan. But the truth is, no matter what Polestar does, they aren't Volvo. Volvo is a brand with a heritage and an identity, and they can't live vicariously through whatever tricks Polestar pulls out of their hat. Once again, they need to be future-proof. The EX90 may be the start of a new age for Volvo. There's no room for mistakes. So will the EX90 be enough? It's too early to say. Let's see what it looks like in 10 years.